So good morning. Thank y'all for everyone who is joining us. This is very exciting. I personally learned about generational curses about, I was maybe 29 or 30 years old. I didn't have kids yet, but I was married. So I've been in this lane myself maybe 17 or 18 years. And I would like to tell you that as soon as you learn about it and hit it, it's all over with. And it is. You will get level after level of freedom. But what I have learned is that every time the Lord has me teach it, He has revealed more to me. And another level of freedom. So some of you have heard my analogies before, but in my experience, our life is a lot like a big old onion. And there's layer after layer after layer. And what God does is He works on it and He cleans off the skins, right? He takes care of a layer. And then when we're ready, He goes to the next one, and then to the next one, and then to the next one. So in my experience, deliverance and healing, inner healing, and the breaking off of generational curses is, some things are absolutely immediate. He addresses it, He deals with it, it's over with. But then other things are deeper. We've been wounded in that place or dealt with that issue longer. So it can take more work depending on how deep that wound goes. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And generational curses, we inherit them. We are born with them. So the way they work is we're born with them. So they are inherited. They're in the blood. They're in the system. They're in our makeup from birth. So depending on how old you are is how long that's been sitting there, right? And what happens is that some curses, this is an example I'll give to try to make it make sense. Both of your parents are alcoholics. You're born into that. And so that's alcoholism is the example that I'm going to use. So your grandparents, your great-grandparents, there's alcoholism all through the family. You can see its trail. And so that infant is not an alcoholic, okay? But they have been born into this curse. When they're 5, they're not an alcoholic. When they're 10, they're not an alcoholic. When they're 15, right? They're most likely still not living, acting out, being an alcoholic. But at 25, they're in a different season of their life. And they may, by that time, have actually activated that curse in their life. So the reason they haven't been an alcoholic all these years, one, their age, and they haven't done anything to activate it or to let it come alive. Does that make sense? And so what happens, it doesn't mean, again, I'm just using an analogy, that at 25, they're all of a sudden a drunk, okay? But if they purpose to start drinking alcohol, they have now opened that door to something that's already an issue in the inner core. Does that make sense? And because of that, it's livened up, it's activated. Now they are much easier to walk in agreement with that curse and act out that curse. So I use that as an example because I ministered to a guy, him and his brother. The brother, drug addict, alcoholic, like every negative thing you could think of, he was bound by and living that. The other brother never touched any of it. But the issue was that they were both born into the same generational curse. It's that one chose to activate it and live in it and come into agreement with it. and the other one had not. But it still needed to be broken off of both of them.